Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Oh, Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mahavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamulam Gurur Murtehe, Pujamulam Gurur Padam, Mantramulam Gururvakyam, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripaha, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripaha. Namo Ramana. I thank Vani and Vasu for this opportunity to share some of Bhagwan's thoughts on this topic, permanence and impermanence. So, very interesting topic, and we'll dive in straight in. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is what is this Advaita? They always say start with the end in mind. So, what is this Advaitic philosophy? Bhagwan believes in Advaita Vedanta. What is the Advaitic philosophy? It says Brahmam Satyam Jagat Mitya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Well, Brahma is the absolute reality. The world is an appearance. The individual soul is none other than the Brahman. That's what is the first. If we understand this, then we understand the whole of what we are going to be talking about today. So I thought I will share a few. Um, we were doing Ramana Smriti on few topics, and I thought it was beautiful to share one on one devotee, Annamalai Swami, had written. On a moonlit night, some devotees were going around the holy Arunachala hill chanting the Vedas. Suddenly they saw a leopard standing right in the middle of the road looking at them. The singers were paralyzed with fear. They could neither sing nor walk ahead nor run away. The leopard looked at them quietly for a long time and then slowly crossed the road and disappeared in the jungle. The devotees thanked their stars, completed their round of the hill, and after returning to the ashram, related their adventure with the leopard to Bhagwan, who listened carefully and said, There was no reason for fear. The leopard is a jnani who came down the hill to listen to your chanting of the Vedas. He went away deeply disappointed because out of fright you broke off singing. Why were you so afraid? Annamalai Swami writes beautifully that Bhagavan says that that leopard that you saw was nobody else but a jnani. So what did you see? You saw the form of the leopard. Did you really see what the leopard was all about? No, you did not. And you, because of which, you stopped singing. And then the leopard went away very, very disappointed because he thought he would be able to listen to the Vedas. So similarly, what happens in our lives, if you look at one of the three great gurus who lived, one was Swami Shivananda. See, if you look at Swami Shivananda's life, he was in Malaysia looking after three hospitals. Not even one hospital, three hospitals. and he could cure any number of people there. But what happened? He realized, hey, everybody is coming suffering. Everybody is having bodily pain. People are crying. And some people have money. Some people don't have money. And how will the life is in a very, very bad shape. So Shivananda's Gurudev said, is there something beyond this suffering? So this is the thing that most great ones have thought about. Is there something beyond this suffering? This mundane life? Is there something beyond this? And then what happened? Swami Gurudev came to Chennai, back to Chennai from Malaysia, like Bhagwan, threw all the things away, gave everything away, and went straight to the Himalayas, Rishikesh, and did intense tapasya. And he realized, yes, there is something beyond all this suffering that we are really seeing. And we know now here's a case. Gurudev was a case where he saw only suffering. Look at Buddha. What happened with Buddha's life? We all know. He lived in the palace. His father didn't allow him to go out of the palace because he would see all the suffering. He lived in absolute royalty. But what happened? One day he decided to go out of the palace. And what did he see? He saw old age. He saw suffering. He saw hunger. He saw death. Then he realized, is there something beyond all this? I was living in this palace, enjoying myself. Is there something beyond this? So that's when he went into deep tapasya. Similarly, Bhagwan. So he saw suffering. And if you look at Buddha's life, what did he do? He also saw suffering. From where? He was living in royalty, and then he came out and saw the suffering. Look at what happened to Bhagwan. Bhagwan was calling his father Appa till yesterday. Today what happened? Suddenly that body is lying on the floor. And he inquired, if this was the man who I was calling Appa, why, when I call him today, Appa, why is he not getting up? That means this body which I have been considering to be Appa, my father, is actually not my father. Then who is my father? There must be something within this body which has disappeared, which has left this body, because of which this body has become a dead body. So he inquired, and we know after that he had the death experience, and then he realized he is that Satchidananda Atman. So everybody have inquired into this permanence. Is there something permanent in this impermanent? This impermanence seems very, very shallow. But there is something which is deep within this impermanence, which is the permanence. But very few people actually go down that path. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa beautifully says that how many jivas are there? That many paths to the same destination. So everybody is trying to get there, to the same destination. Of what? Of knowing who we are. The purpose of this human life is what? The purpose of this human life is to know who you really are. There's no other higher purpose of knowing who you are. So let us dive a little deeper into this and try to understand what is this permanent and what is this impermanent, and what is the way out for us as human beings who are living grahasti lives, a life in a family, and who are also want to reach the highest state of being, like Shivananda, like Ramana, like Buddha. How can we get there? So what's the difference between Sat and Asat? We'll go a little deeper and deeper and try to understand what's the difference between this Sat and Asat. What is permanent and impermanent? If you understand what is permanent and impermanent, then only you will get Viveka and Vairagya, discrimination and dispassion. If you really do not know what is permanent and impermanent, then it doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter whether it is permanent or impermanent. It doesn't matter. But then you are living a false life. But here that we have chosen this path, the spiritual path, to realize who we are, then we should know that. So what's the distinction? Permanent is what? It has to be present all the time. That means it has to be in the past, it has to be in the present, and it has to be in the future. It cannot be that it is there now and not there later. So it has to be in all the three phases. Impermanence is what? Is like the world. It's like this body. It is there today, and tomorrow it may not be there. So impermanent is what? It is nothing but it is unreal. Unreal means what? It is apparently real. See, when we say body is real, it is there. It's not the body not there, but it is apparently real. It is not truly real. And that's something that we will try and understand in this whole journey that we are going to go through. So, Advaita says that the impermanence is a superimposition on the permanence. So, this is something that we need to understand. The body, jada. We are, Bhagavan says, Hridaya Kuhara Madhe Kevalam Brahma Matram. Means in the cave of your heart, the Brahman is sitting there. He's there. And he's had that experience, so he's saying with authority. So between these two, what happens? There is something that rises, this I thought that rises, the ego rises. So what happens? So like if you go to a theater, what do you see? When you see a screen, do you see the screen? You don't see the screen. The screen is permanent. Whether it was COVID time or non-COVID times, the screen was always there. And then you have the movies that are playing on the screen. Today there may be a love movie, tomorrow may be a frightening movie, day after tomorrow may be action movie, it may be different types of movies that are playing on the screen. And that is happening all the time. While they appear real, when you watch them, they have no existence independent of the screen. See, this is very important. There must be some substratum on which the movie is seen. The substratum is the permanent, which is the screen. So what is their logic? The basic logic says that the world is changing because you are the seer. And what is happening? The seer is seeing what? The seer is basically the changeless, and it is seeing the changing. Continuously saying the changing. But if there was not, if the seer was not changeless, will it be able to see changing? No. It's like if you are moving and the other, like you have seen this in a railway station, right? In a railway station when you're parked, if both the trains are moving, then what does it feel? It feels that no, you are not moving at all till you look on the other side and you said, oh, my train is actually moving. So the changeless, the screen has to be there to be able to see the changing. So we come to this aspect of discrimination, viveka. Why is viveka important? We need to understand why is dukkha there? Why am I suffering? Is there something beyond this? See, Bhagavan in Who Am I book writes, the purpose, everybody wants to be happy all the time. Why? Because their nature is happiness. They are the self. But where are we looking for this happiness? We're looking for this happiness outside. Where is the happiness actually residing? Our nature, its happiness is within. So where should we be looking for happiness? We should be looking for happiness within. But we don't look there. So by recognizing the worldly pleasures and objects are impermanent, a seeker develops dispassion, vairagya. He develops vairagya. He says, this is not really giving me happiness. The iPhone I 16 I bought it just few months back, and suddenly Apple has released the iPhone 17, and my neighbor has bought it. I have the old version of iPhone 16, and what happens? Dukha. Immediately that neighbor will come and show, hey Venkatesh, I've got the latest phone. Where is your phone? You hide your phone. You will not show your phone because you will realize that you don't have the latest version. The goal is to stop identifying with the impermanent. What's the goal of this whole thing? It's to stop identifying with the impermanent. What is the impermanent? The body, the mind, the ego, the layer in between the body and the Jada body and the Chaitanya is this middle layer. So, the whole journey is that where we said just now, we said Brahman Satyam Jagat Mithya. Mithya means what? Is it true or false? This is something that comes to all of us. World is there. I can see it. But does it have an independent reality or a dependent reality? It's like the wave in the ocean. Does the wave has an independent reality of the over the ocean? No. The wave is dependent on the water, is dependent on the ocean. So what is the nature? What's the criteria for permanence? We'll try and understand this. If you understand this, what's the criteria, then only your viveka you'll be able to discriminate. Next time you go shopping and you see an object, then you will, and if it attracts, it does the object. This is something we need to understand. We go to a shop and we say, "Oh, it's a beautiful shirt. I want to buy it." Is the shirt coming and telling Venkatesh, "Please buy me"? No, it's not. It's just there. It is just there in the shop. I, with my thoughts and my feelings and getting attracted to the shirt, I want to go and possess the shirt. So, similarly, what happens is, what is the criteria for permanence? Let's try and understand that. The first thing that comes to our mind is changelessness. It should not change. It should not go through any modifications on or any transformation. That's the nature of permanence. See, if you ask yourself, everybody wants a permanent address. Why do you want a permanent address? A fellow who lives in a rented house wants to buy a own house. Why does he want to buy own house? He wants a permanent address, a place that he can call his own. He wants a permanent address. That's the picture of the mind. And the second thing, it must exist in the past, present, and future. That means the permanence means it's not that it was not there in the past and it's there now and it'll be there in the future. No, that is not. We know the great story of King Janaka, who had that dream where he had lost his in the battle to the neighboring kingdom. He lost all his belongings and he was thrown out. He went to the neighboring kingdom to beg. And then what happened? He didn't get any food and he woke up and he asked his queen and all his ministers, is that true? The dream true or this waking true? The waking when I see myself in the palace, is this true or the one where I lost my kingdom? Nobody could help him. Then we all know that Ashtavakra came along. And then he said, he told King Janaka a very important point. He says, were you there when the dream was happening, when you had fainted and you had not eaten food? Yes, he said. King Janaka said, yes. Then he says, now when you say you're awake and you are in the palace with all your queens and all, are you there now? He says, yes. So you are the reality. That I amness, I was there, I amness was there in the dream as well as there now. So that's the reality. And the third thing that is a higher knowledge cannot cancel this knowledge. See, what happens is, say, when you realize the self, you get to know everything. You get all knowledge is yours. It's not that there's a higher knowledge which can help you to take it to a higher level. Is something that they talk about. So what is the permanent Brahman? We call it Brahman or Atman. What is it? It is the Sakshi. Sakshi means what? It is the witness. So yesterday we had a cricket match in, I think so, I don't know where it was, Bangalore versus Chennai. And everybody must have been watching it on the TVs. Many of you may have also been watching on the TV. What did you see? Yeah, bat and ball and running sixes, boundaries, all being hit all round. But there was something which was not moving. Did anybody see the stadium? Did anybody see the chairs? If you go and ask the stadium today, what happened yesterday? Stadium says, I was just a witness. I do not know CSK. I do not know RCB. I do not know it was IPL 2026. I don't know any of those things. How much Kohli scored, how much Patidar scored. I do not know all that. I was just a silent witness. It did not matter to the stadium what happened in the stadium. Everybody must have been jumping in the stadium. People who are there must have been jumping up and down. But there was a Sakshi. There was a witnessing to that match, and it did not matter for that. So similarly, he says, Bhagavan says, the witness is a Sakshi. The second one is, it is beyond the three states of what? Waking, dream, and deep sleep. See, then that is what's called the fourth state. It's all called the Turiya state. So if it goes, it's the witnessing consciousness. Now let's watch it. If you become the witnessing consciousness, then what happens? Waking will come and go. Deep sleep will come and go. Dream will come and go. And you will be that Sakshi Bhav. It's like if you're in a bus stand. I always give this example. You're in a bus stand and you're expecting nobody. Hundreds and thousands of people will be going up and down. Next to you, in front of you, behind you and all. You will not worry about anybody. You may see a mobile or read a book or whatever it is. You will be a Sakshi. You'll just be a witness. Only waiting for your bus to come. But if you're expecting somebody, imagine if you're expecting your sister. Then every girl or every lady that's coming from far, oh, is that her? Is that her? Will she make it on time to catch the bus? You'll be looking at everybody. So your witnessing consciousness state vanishes and you go into the world. And you'll be seeing this and that. Is that happening? Is she the person coming? Is she not? So what happens? Your mind gets disturbed. So it's beyond the three states. A jnani is like that. For a jnani, he's just a witness. Everything is happening. Actually, there's no jnani. There's only jnana. Because if you look at jnani, then you have a person. It's only knowledge. And then what is the nature of Brahman? The nature of Brahman is Satchit Ananda. Existence, consciousness, and bliss. That's the nature of this permanent Brahman Atman. We say, what's the nature? If each one of you are asked right now, do you exist? Are you aware of your existence? Yes, yes. I exist right now. I am. But what do you associate yourself with? Instantly your body thought comes. Instantly a nama and rupa comes up. That I amness which is that stillness between two thoughts or between two breaths, or as you wake up in the morning, that stillness. Nobody pays attention to that at all. Be still and know that I am God. We just celebrated Easter on Sunday. Jesus says that. Be still. But nobody sees that stillness. See, all the great ones say, Tat Tvam Asi, you are already that. See, it's not, that's what they say, the whole journey is self-realization. It's not self-achievement. Or no, you're not going to get anything in this whole journey. This whole journey is you are going to drop the falsity. When you drop the falsity, what will be real will be the reality. That's the journey we have taken on. But very few people understand this. And they are what they caught in the objects. Continuously they caught in objects. So the impermanent, we'll now come to the impermanent. If we realize what was the permanent, it was the witness, it was the Sakshi Bhava. It's like the sky. Rain, clouds come. Some places in Bangalore, parts of Bangalore it will rain, parts of Bangalore it won't rain. It does not matter for the sky. Where it rains, it doesn't tell, hey clouds, there it's not rain, you go. No, it's just there. So it has a witnessing consciousness. And it's also called the seer. And it's beyond the three states. And third thing it is Satchit Ananda. That's the nature of the permanent Brahman. Atma and Brahman is the same. So now let's get into what do we mean by impermanent, because this is very important, but this most of us would know this also, is basically we're talking about the something that is anitya. Anitya means what? Because it is subject to 6 modifications. What are the modifications? Birth, existence, growth, change, decay, and death. If any of these objects, every object goes through this. It goes through a birth, like me. It will exist for some time. It will grow, it will change, it will decay, and it will die. So it says this is what this is impermanence. So what is that? One is the body-mind complex. Your body and mind are born, and then eventually what will happen? They will perish. This body today is there, but tomorrow it will perish and considered impermanent. The second is the universe. The universe that we see outside is what? It's a phenomenal word. Constant change. Today war is happening there, tomorrow something else is happening, constantly changing. There's a flux. The constant change is happening. So what happens? He says that while the images move and change, the screen Brahman remains still and permanent. See, the one thing very important, when you are seeing this world, the world is where? It's in your mind. We always think we are in this world. No, the world is within us. And but there is a consciousness, there is a stillness inside which is seeing this. So this is, we go a little deeper into this whole concept and try and understand the categories of impermanent things. What are the categories? One is the physical world, the Jagat. The Jagat that you see are all external objects. So when you see an external object, remember it is impermanent. The second thing, such as what you go to a pot, a clay pot. What is a clay pot made up of? Clay. Or you go to Tanishq showroom and what do you see? Beautiful necklaces, beautiful chains. And you say, oh, beautiful design. Do you go and see it's gold? Only when you have to bill, when he'll say it is, 1,50,000 rupees for 10 grams, that's when you'll realize that it is gold because you have to pay a lot of money. But initially, if your daughter is getting married and she says beautiful necklace, oh, beautiful necklace. But then what happens? After 10, 15 years, the design becomes old and your daughter wants to change it. She brings it to Tanishq again. And Tanishq, what they say? No making charge. They just weigh the gold and say, oh, this is 15 grams gold. That's all. They don't pay you for any of the designs. They don't pay you for anything else. They say only when you bought it initially, wastage, making charges, all that will be there. But when you want to exchange it for something, what will say? Oh, this is gold, yes, and it is 11 grams. Or you go to another goldsmith, he won't worry if it is, if Madhuri Dixit was wearing this design in some movie, he is not going to be bothered about that. He'll say 11 grams of gold and I will give you another item which is 11 grams of gold. That's all. So the important thing to understand is the world is, is impermanent. What are you seeing the gold? No, you're not seeing the gold. So that's so your way you start looking at the world is very, very different. The physical body will go through birth, growth, decay, and death. The mind, what will happen? This includes thoughts, emotions, memories. These are all changing. I'm talking. Some of you are saying, what a boring talk it is. Somebody saying, oh, maybe interesting. Somebody may say, hey, this is something I do not know. Continuously. Your mind is a meaning making machine. It's continuously listening and talking to itself. So it's changing. Our sensory experiences, our five senses are continuously being bombarded by the world. We sit in front of the TV, breaking news. Iran bombed somebody, somebody else bombed somebody else. This is what is happening in the world. And then what happens? You say, oh, all this is real. See, the problem is not that breaking news, somebody's bombing this and that. And I always give the example. When Bhagwan was alive, there were two world wars that were going on. Not ordinary wars. Two world wars were going on. Bhagwan did not do anything. He just sat in Mauna. He just was in the self. It's like beautifully in another talk, sharing, one of the devotees asked Bhagwan this question, beautiful question, very small but so true. He asked, once a devotee asked Bhagwan, have you seen Shiva, Nandi and Kailash? He asked, have you seen all this? This Kailash, Shiva is there, have you seen him? Nandi, Kailash? He said, Bhagwan replied, no, never, but the self I see every moment. So beautiful. He said, you need not see Shiva. You need not see Kailasha. You need not see Nandi. Do you see yourself or not? Are you abiding in yourself or not? Here and now. It's a straight thing that Bhagwan is telling the devotee. And then you have the individual identity. And individual identity, the sense of being a separate, limited individual. I feel if there are 10 people in this call, I feel different from each one of them. There's separate identity. Why I thought rises, the ego rises. As the ego rises, my mind rises. Mind rises, this body rises. Nama and Rupa rises. And then I see so many Nama and Rupa, each of them separate from me. I see the beads on the necklace, which are all separate. But I don't see the thread that goes across the beads. Because that's not the way my mind is made. I only see differences. I don't see similarities. I don't see so many human beings in this call. I don't see Satchidananda Atmans all in this call. My Guru, Swami Chidananda, used to write, in all his letters, is right. First, he'll say, blessed, immortal Atman. That's how he used to call. When he'll write a letter, he'll write, blessed, immortal Atman Venkatesh. He'll write. What does he mean? You are blessed and you are immortal. Swami Shivananda says, stop bleating like a sheep, roar like a lion. Why do you think you are this limited being, this object with all these troubles? You are the Satchidananda Atman. You are that which runs the whole universe. That God whom you say runs the whole universe is in your heart, here and now, not tomorrow. Here and now, He's there. So permanence is a product of Maya. Everybody says impermanence. Impermanence is a product of Maya. What is Maya? It's an illusion. Make the transient appearances seem solid and lasting. You feel that your wife is true, that body is true. You feel that the Rolex watch you have on your thing is true, but it is just an object. It is not true. So how do you get rid of this? How do you get rid of this? This permanence, impermanence. There is a thing called Drid Drishya Viveka. You have to see, Bhagavan has made the difference between us and monkeys are that he has given us discrimination and dispassion, Viveka and Vairagya. But still, a monkey is a sadhu. If you put banana and money next to him, monkey will eat only the bananas. Monkey does not know that the money can buy more bananas. He doesn't know that. That a man knows. But if money and bananas and cup in front of human being, he will only take the money. He will not touch the bananas. That's why monkeys are supposed to be called sadhus. So this viveka means discrimination. What is nitya? What is anitya? What is it that's going to stay on forever? And what is it? I want to be with that which is going to stay on forever. I don't want pleasure. I want unalloyed happiness. Bhagavan says, your nature is unalloyed happiness. You don't go there and look at it. But you go on, Diwali will come, the discount sale come, buy two, you get three free, go on accumulating. Then what happens? Dukkha. You buy a diamond necklace, what happens? Oh, 10 lakhs of rupees. Now everybody I have to go and get one locker immediately and go and keep the 10 lakh, this thing inside that, the diamond necklace inside. Otherwise, if I keep it at home, the maids will get to know, or somebody will get to know, it'll get lost. You are all the time thinking of that object. Like once, a devotee came from North India to Bhagavan and started following him up the hill. Bhagavan says, hey, go back from where you came. He just told this man, go back from where you came. And this devotee was feeling very sad. He had spent so much of money, so much of time from the North India, he had come to Tiruvannamalai, and Bhagavan told him, go back where you come. He came to the satsang and told the other devotee, hey, Bhagavan is telling me to go back where I came. I've spent so much of money to just talk to him and seek his blessings. Then the devotees told him, no, you have got the highest initiation. Bhagavan has told you, go back to your source, within. You're all the time looking for something in your Bahirmukha. You are looking for things outside in the world and you are not finding happiness. And you're looking for happiness In Bhagavan also, as if Bhagavan is in one place, Bhagavan is written as if I have got under my pillow, I have got peace. You want me to distribute peace? It's like that. So these devotees told that no, Bhagavan is giving you the highest initiation. You have left the self, and through your mind, through your ego, and through your senses, you are going into the world of Nama and Rupa in time and space. And you're thinking, oh, yes, all this is all real. This is going to give me happiness. None of it is going to give you happiness. Your children, your husband, your wife, all the things that you have with you are not going to give you happiness. You are born empty handed, you die empty handed. In the middle, you try to acquire and hold on to different things which make you more and more unhappy. It does not give you happiness. Because why? All of them are objects. Even if you have a grandchild, you hold it tight, it will just want to become free from you. Why? You want to merge into it. No, it can't, because you are the subject and that jiva is an object for you. So if there is a subject object, you will not be able to merge together. So any object is impermanent. It may be the most beautiful object, it's impermanent. Like another example I gave, like these devotees. Oh, I am giving a 5 crore mukata to Tirupati. So, oh, 5 crore mukata, very good. What a noble idea. All that, all that diamonds and emeralds and all that is, and gold in that is God's only. He is the owner of that. You are not an owner. You are just like a chowkidar. You're like a security guard. In the life that you have, Bhagwan keeps something. Hey, look at Venkatesh, look after all these things when you are around. Okay. And then after that, you'll write a will. Oh, my son, you look after all these things. That's what is happening. Nobody takes anything from this. But this man with a lot of ego, I am giving a 10 crore mukta to Tirupati. Tirupati must be laughing. It is not his at all. Every item on that mukta is not his. But there's a false sense of this is mine because of the ego rising. So that's what he says, that there must be discrimination. Now, seer and seen, drig and drishya. Drig is the seer, drishya is what you see. Now, let us do a simple example of you see a bottle of water. What sees the bottle of water? The eye sees the bottle. So the bottle is the drishya, the eye is the drig. So drop the scene. Then what happens? Then you have the eye. Eyes are blinking, eyes are open, they're closed, and this and that. Who sees that? The mind sees that. Oh, really? So mind is more subtle and it's the drig, and drishya is the eye. But then the mind just has some data. There's no intelligent data. So then there's the intellect who is deciphering what is there in the mind. So that mind, what is happening? That is the drishya, and drig is the intellect. Now behind that is the consciousness. Behind that is the self. Behind that is the Atman. Behind that is Brahman, which is powering this intellect. So that is the drishya, and the Atman is the drig. So who is the real seer? Swami Shivananda sings a beautiful song. He says, find the knower, find the seer, find the taster, find the smeller. He says, go find that fellow. Does your nose smell? Find out. At one place we say body jada. There's no intelligence to it. But no, my nose is smelling. How is the nose able to smell? Right now I'm talking. All of you are listening. If you ask yourself, who is the listener? For 1 second, if you ask that question, who is the listener? And you'll realize the ears do not listen. It's because of that Atman, it's because of that consciousness, you are able to listen right now. And this body is able to talk because of the consciousness. So where should you enter? Who is the real seer? Who is the Drig? The Drig is the consciousness, is the Brahman. So it says that, so if you do this neti thing, if you drop the bottle, drop the I, drop the mind, drop the intellect, go into who you really are, is the self. That means what? You are, when you are the Drig, then what is your body to you? If you are the Drig, your body is also a Drishya. Just think about it. Not that bottle. The bottle is obviously Drishya because that object feels outside you. But you, because of your you feel that you are this body. This is the Maya power. This is the power of Maya. It feels that this body is you. This body is not you. So if you inquire, is this body a Drig or a Drishya? It will become a Drishya. That means as much as I see other bodies, I'm able to see this body also. Then as you go inwards, you become antarmukha, you go deeper and deeper into who you really are. And that is the permanent. And everything else is impermanent. As you come out, you leave the permanent, you leave the Atman, Brahman, God, whatever you may call it. If you leave the permanent, you come into impermanent. Why? Because everything else is an object and that is only the subject. So what's the nature of the Drig? It is unchanging. It's a Sakshi. The Atman consciousness is same. When you were young also you said I am. Right now also you will say I am. When you become old also you will say I am. That sense of I amness, that existence consciousness does not change. Every time you look into the mirror, you feel you are the same person. The body may have changed, but you know that I am. That consciousness is always there. So it is unchanging. And it's pure awareness. Drig is pure awareness. You are aware at this point of time. And it's the subject I. Yahamahamiti sakshat atma rupena bhati. Bhagavan in the Eka Shloki is written, what is the nature of that Atma? Is I. And it's the screen. We compare it to the movie, it's the substratum. It's the I. And what's the nature of the scene, Drishya? It is impermanent, continuously changing. This body itself is continuously changing. It used to have black hair earlier, now it's become white. Back used to be straight, now it's stooping down. After 10 years, no teeth also. The smile, there's no teeth inside that. It's continuously changing. And many thoughts. Seen, the thoughts, objects, forms, all the time. This is part of the Drishya. You look out of a window, continuously you see only different forms. And which is only objects. This, that. And the last thing is, it appears like a movie. If you look outside the window, it is like a light and sound show. Just look out of your window. It's a light and sound show. Everything is, it's like a movie that's happening, continuously that's happening. And you say, oh, this is all real. See, the problem, it's not that movie is going on. Let the movie go on. But why are you saying it is real? Because you are only giving energy to that thought. If Iran is bombing Kuwait, it's bombing. It's like in Kurukshetra, Krishna tells when Arjuna doesn't want to fight, Krishna says, "Hey, listen, Arjuna, I'm the movie, I'm the actually director of this whole movie. I know from scene 1 to scene 100, I know. So just, in the next scene, the Kauravas are already dead. Dead means what? Nothing has happened to them. You are seeing this body, and you are this impermanent body, which has a birthday and death day. It's going to vanish one day. You are looking at that and saying, my chacha, my mama, my tata, all are standing in front of me. I'm not going to kill them. You are doing nothing. They are already dead in the next scene. So the impermanence is there, but you are not using viveka. That's why so many hundreds of verses were written in Bhagavad Gita. For what? Because Arjuna was not able to, was going through his senses, going through his five senses and seeing the world of Nama and Rupa in time and space and thinking all this is real. But it's all not it's all impermanent. So the Sakshi Bhava is a beautiful way of to be able to experience who you really are. So let's try and understand what is the summary of this Sakshi. What is it? How does it feel? Today you feel, I am suffering. Many of us may be suffering. Knee pain, body pain, headache. You become a Sakshi means suffering is being witnessed. When you become Sakshi, it's happening, it's there. It's not the body is not there, body is there. Like Bhagwan, when he went through all his surgeries, they didn't give him anesthesia at all. Why did they not give him anesthesia? He said, I'm not this body. You think you are I'm not giving any energy to this body thought at all. I am inward turned. I am Atmanishta Bhavatvam. I am established in the self. In the self, I am Sakshi. I like somebody else's pain, body pain. My body pain is also like that. It may be hurting, but I'm not giving it any energy. See, if you have knee pain and suddenly your daughter comes and says, "Hey, Dad, I got first class first." Oh, what happens to your knee pain? It's there. But suddenly a thought has come which is higher, and you say, wow, let's congratulations to you, congratulate your daughter, you hug her and go to the sweet mall, get some sweets, distribute it to all your neighbors and say, my daughter has come first class first. What has happened to your knee pain? Is it there? Just think about it. Knee pain is there, but you're not giving it any energy. You have stopped giving it any energy. Because you realize body is there, it's going to suffer, it's going to decay, it's going to die, but I'm not that. Because this body, same body, is not there in deep sleep. In dream, I have a dream body. Only in waking, I have this body. So why should I give so much attention to this body? I'll hold on to that Sakshi. Suffering is, if there's no sufferer, there is no suffering. The fellow at the back, the sufferer has to be there, then only there is suffering. So in the normal state, other things that people do is, they'll identify with the changing. Oh, the change happening. Now now it is becoming very warm nowadays. Continuously with the changing. If you go and meet some friends, what will they tell you? Oh, things are changing. Oh, vegetables become very expensive. This is not available. That is not available. But Jnani is resting in the changeless. The Sakshi does not change. He doesn't care about what is happening. Because that's the truth. That is what's permanent. And we have to, as part of the Drisha Viveka, we have to actually understand that what is Nitya and what is Anitya. If you are going to hold on to Anitya, you are going to be in Dukkha. 100%. It's written everywhere. But if you hold on to the self, if you hold on to who you really are, then what happens? You become a silent witness. It's like the stadium which watched CSK RCB match last night. Go and ask it. It'll be summa ire. It'll be just be quiet. It'll just be there. The stadium will just be there. It didn't matter who won, who sat on the chair. It doesn't matter who sat on it. Whether an RCB fan sat on it or a CSK fan sat on it. Whether they lost, whether they won, whether they ate something, whether they drink something, did not matter. It was just there. So a Jnani is also like that. A Jnani who knows the truth, he knows that the Drig is his reality. The Brahman is the only real entity. Mr. So and so is a false non-entity. The Swami Shivananda beautifully sings this. Brahman is the only real entity. Why are you worried about something else? Mr. So, Mr. Venkatesh is non-entity. This body, mind here is non-entity. It's not even a, he's getting old as a non-entity. It doesn't exist at all. Brahman is the real entity. So Drigdrishya Viveka, which is Viveka, what helps is for you to always be with the permanent. So if somebody talks about, hey, I got a beautiful Mercedes-Benz car, oh yes, fantastic, go enjoy it. And at the end, at the back of your mind, you pray for him and say, oh yes, hope he has a nice time with the new car. But at another level, when you're walking the spiritual path, you realize it's just an object. An object has finite. It's going to give you only finite happiness. Not even happiness. It's going to give you finite pleasure. Pleasure is what? Is there for some time and vanishes. If you have a samosa, where is the happiness happening? Samosa doesn't say, come, Venkatesh, have me. I'm going to give you happiness. No. The happiness is within you. The samosa doesn't say, I'll give you happiness. So everything is within you. So in the Drig Drishya Viveka, this is very, very important. And Drig is permanent. Drishya is continuously changing. So if you look at the three aspects of we go through this whole day, we go through this waking, dream, and deep sleep continuously. We're going through that. Let's try and understand the physical body. Was it there in waking, as we just discussed? Physical body was there in waking. But was it there in dream? No. Was it there in deep sleep? No. So physical body is impermanent. See, one thing we just said. What is permanent? What ones which does not change, which is always there. So the physical body was not there in dream, was not there in deep sleep. So physical body is anitya. It is an object. It's not you. If I think I am Venkatesh, I am this body, I am sadly mistaken. So let's look at the mind and ego. Was the mind and ego available in waking? Yes, it was. I felt as if the mind and ego was there. And mind and ego was in dream? Yes, it was there in dream because the mind was projecting my, whatever it is, my disturbance in my mind was projected in my dreams. So I think so the mind and ego was there in my dreams. But was it there in deep sleep, mind and ego? No. The physical body was not there. The subtle body was not there. Everything went into the causal body like a seed. And when I wake up in the morning, that seed sort of germinates, and then what happened? All these things come in. So mind and ego was not there in deep sleep. Because mind and ego was not there in deep sleep, mind and ego is not permanent. because in all the three states it must be there. So mind and ego is not there. That means the subtle body, that whole concept is not there. The koshas, pranamaya kosha, Bhagwan, see, was very, very kind he is. The pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, and the vijnanamaya kosha. The mind is there, but what happens normally, the mind and the breath are actually are together. The source of the mind and the source of the breath is the same. So actually, normally, if your mind becomes quiet, the breath also should become quiet. But Bhagwan says at night, if your wife realizes, hey, Venkatesh is not breathing, she will think you're dead. So Bhagwan, one thing he does, he keeps your breathing going at night. So mind and ego is also impermanent. Last comes the witness, the sakshi. Was it there in waking? Yes. Right now, I feel I know who am I. Yes, yes. In dream? Yes, you were present in dream. Yes, I know. I had that bad dream, I had that good dream, whatever it is, I was there. In deep sleep? Yes, 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 I was there. When I woke up, I said I had a very good night's sleep. I was there. So the Sakshi is there in all the three states. And that's our daily experience. It's not tomorrow's experience, the day after tomorrow experience. This Sakshi Bhava is there all the time. So what's the conclusion? The Sakshi never disappears. It is your own, it is your own permanent reality. The Sakshi, the Satchidananda Atman is who you really are. Which is Arunachala? Arunachala is what? Aruna Achala. Aruna is Satchit Ananda. Achala is what? Doesn't move. That is consciousness. That's who you really are. That is the self. That is your reality. That is Brahman. That is Atman. And not this impermanence, not the drishya, not the drishya. Continuously, you see your children, you must think in your, use Viveka. So that's why Bhagavan is given the Brahmastra called self-inquiry. When you're leaving the self and leaving the drig and going to drishya, he's saying, inquire for whom is this thought. He said, don't go into drishya. Ask for whom is this thought. When you ask for whom is this thought, what will happen? For me, who am I? When you ask whom am I, you go back to the drig. You go back to that stillness. You'll go back to who you really are, here and now. Again, the thought will come. Some thought will come. Good, bad, ugly, whatever spiritual thought, again goes into the drishya. Ask, for whom is this thought? He has given the greatest Brahmastra. There cannot be anything greater than that. He says, be with the self, be with the drig, continuously. So if the mind takes you out, then say, for whom is this thought? Again, get back to drig. Don't go to drishya. It can be with your children, it can be with your God. Even if God comes in front of you, do namaskara to him and say, Bhagwan, you show me your real swarupa. You show me that self. Your reality is the self and not this object. People will go to Tirupati. What will they see? They'll see one stone. Why do they see a stone? Because they know that they are this body and they will go and see another body there. Though it's got energy and all that, from an energy perspective and all, it's different. But what's the reality of Tirupati? Is the self. What's the reality of Shirdi? Is the self. What's the reality of Bhagwan? Is the self. What's the reality of Arunachala? Is the self. And what's the reality of us? Is also the self. That's why they say the Guru, the you, and God, and the world, Prapancha also. That you'll realize later as part of the journey. is also all the self. That's the reality. So Bhagavan says, do not go out. Do not go to the drishya. You may have to do work in the kitchen. You may have to do work in the office. But where is your attention? Your attention is always with the self. Where is the self? Bhagavan says the logical point, the right hand side of your chest is the spiritual heart. It's a logical point. Bhagavan had the feeling when he had the death experience that the I is there. So he tells us to logically focus on there. Don't focus on all the chakras and our movement, energy movement. So just be there. Just be. Summa iru. That's what he told his mother. So if you are still, then what happens? You are with God. Nature of God is what? Stillness. Mind, consciousness purged of thoughts is felt as God. This very moment, you know you are. I am. Yes, I am. But once I add Venkatesh, I add an Nama and Rupa to it. If I leave it at I am, I am. That's that consciousness. So Bhagavan says very importantly that we should, in this impermanence and permanence, we have to use Viveka and Vairagya. Dispassion and discrimination, very important. And each one of us has it as part of our journey on this as a human being. We have to use it dispassionately. Then only you realize who you are. You are not this body, mind, ego complex. You are the Satchidananda Atman. And once you realize you are that, you become fearless and free. Nothing bothers you. Even physical pain won't bother you because you become a witness. You become Sakshi to that, to this body also, and to everything that happens in the universe. And you will be pulled and pushed wherever you need to get involved. It's not that you will become like a log of wood. Bhagavan says that Jnani is absolutely still inside. His mind is absolutely still. It's not manolaya, it is manonasha. His ego is completely finished. It's like a burnt agarbatti. He's in manonasha. There's nothing left. But he is in absolute stillness and he's totally aware of what's happening around him because he's everything. Initially, you think, oh, I'm going to become nothing. When you become nothing, you become everything. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything becomes you only because everything is only you. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana. Thank you, Arunachala Ramana.